Oh no, it's a poisonous snake. Sorry. That was for Rochambeau there. We were discussing King's Quest. Somebody was picking up the King's Quest series, and we were talking about Cedric the Owl. I had to do that for him. Okay. So, I honestly can't remember what I was doing. We generally do this almost every week, but I've been on a business trip, and Icon was on a business trip.
Well, I was on a personal trip.
Well, yes. But
it involved a lot of business, but it was a personal trip.
yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't a lot of fun from my understanding, but it was a lot of stuff you had to do.
Yeah, that was a very productive personal trip.
Okay, what were we doing? No, he's not resting. That's
okay,
silly.
so I think I've seen this YouTube video before. I think we won a whole lot of battles, didn't we?
So it's funny you mention that. So I know Puddin's getting pretty old, and as soon as he passes away, I'm gonna stop recording. I think it's past. No, I'm gonna freeze him. Once I have to freeze him, I'm gonna stop recording every little thing. And I'm only gonna start recording the storyline and major fights, because otherwise this is just gonna go on and on and on. And if you guys really want to watch every little thing, let me know, and I'll consider it, but I just need to get this LP moving along a little bit more.
She'll consider it, and I will promptly say, no. We're going to go ahead and start advancing this a little bit faster.
Yeah, I'm not actually playing any major games right now, because I beat Dragon Age 1 and 2, and I had already beat Dragon Age Inquisition twice, and I'm on it a third time. So I've played it so many times, I'm not really in a rush to finish it. And then, Icon made the mistake of giving me Heroes of Might and Magic 2 for the PC, and so I was playing that all day.
It might have been on sale on Good Old Games this week. And Smappy and I are both doing the whole Good Old Games Galaxy beta thing, so
yeah.
I was like, yay, it's a chance to experiment with the Galaxy beta. Let's go ahead and see how that is.
I was actually kind of sad because I was waiting for a specific pack to come up and to gift back to you, and it came up, and I didn't look at the timer when it ran out, so when I went to go do it later that night, it was gone, and I was like, no. It was the pack that included Heroes Quest, King's Quest, and Quest for Infamy. It's gonna torture you.
No kidding. My backloggery would be filled with games.
Well, you can beat you can beat half the King's Quest games in one day.
Sure.
Just don't walk into the rivers. Don't walk under rocks. And if it looks like it can kill you, it will kill you if you're playing King's Quest. So that's pretty much the rule.
If it looks like it can kill you, you're already dead.
And Cedric, and if you're playing 5, Cedric will warn you if there's anything horribly obvious, it's dangerous. So, like the snake. Which is funny because you can talk to the snake in that game, and he's like, "I'm gonna hurt you," and I'm like, "Wow, okay, let's just be really obvious about this."
Yeah, today's been an odd day in general. It was like you and I were trying to get Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and then 3 up and running to see if we could do multiplayer. And then you and Helper managed to get it up and running while I was talking with somebody else. And then I've been busy running updates on Windows now for like the last 6 hours or something.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you don't boot up into your boot camp partition on your Mac for like 9 months. It's like every Steam game has an update. Oh, your video card has an update. Oh, he wanted to use Hamachi so that you could do networking? Yeah, it has an update too. Chrome has 6 updates, just so you're aware. Good Old Games has 12. It's like, okay, this is going to take a while.
I actually got the notification last night to get a free copy of Windows 10 because my gaming laptop is on Windows 7, and I was like, you know what? Why not? It can't be worse than Windows 8. I'll probably eat those words, but
no, I don't think so. I mean, they kicked out their CEO last year, and it seems like the new guy's actually got a good head on his shoulders.
My only problem with I am running Windows 8, not 8.1, on my work computer, and once I got used to it, it wasn't bad. My biggest problem with it are the stupid apps. Because it's like, oh, you want to view a photo? Let's take up your entire screen with an app. And I'm like, oh, great. You know, there goes Visual Studio. There goes everything else I'm running. And it's hidden behind this stupid thing. And the only way to get rid of it is to click in the upper left. And then the problem is when it's doing multiple of them. And then it just gets to it. And then it's like, I'm trying to hurry and do something in Visual Studio. And I push a button. It's like, oh, wait, that button maps to one of the apps that you happen to have open. But you didn't realize you had open. So we're going to close Visual Studio in the middle of a build and open that instead. And I'm like, ugh. So that's my only problem with Windows 8, because no matter how much you just can't get the apps to not do that. So, but I don't know. I never got permission to update to 8.1 at work, and I don't know if 8.1 got rid of that. I seriously doubt it, because I think Helper has 8.1 and it still does it to him. So, all right, we need a rest for our fight. Fight though.
So I know that we're recording this before E3 in 2015, so it's like the week before, and so it's kind of doldrums right now of the news. I don't know if you noticed though, but Fallout 4 was kind of announced this week.
No, and I don't care. Not one of my games.
I may have watched the trailer and it had a little bit of welling up in my eyes as I watched the trailer.
The only thing that's going to make me happy in video games right now is Suikoden 6 or a Dragon Age that has Fenris to come back. That's about it right now for me. Fenris is he's becoming the new Zelos here. I don't know if I need to feed Puddin'. Sure.
But yeah, seeing Fallout 4 announced that made me think, really, really, really need to go and build a new gaming PC.
Well, all I know is I want to hear Nintendo's finally given up and they're going to enter the mobile market.
Oh yeah, the whole DNA deal?
I want to hear about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
It's not that I'm like, oh, mobile, Nintendo, yeah! I'm more interested in what are they going to do with it, because Nintendo's always about being creative about new ways of gaming, and I'm like, I really want to know what they're going to do with it. I'm sure Pokemon or Mario is probably going to be one of the first two things on it. If they were smart, they would.
Well, it was interesting. So they announced the deal with this other company, a third-party company called DNA, and that's spelled with D-E-N-A.
Yeah.
And DNA is actually apparently a pretty well-known company because they already do this sort of thing with a lot of other big publishers and big developers.
Yeah.
Where they make mobile versions of their games. And I'm trying to remember, Nintendo already made some announcements regarding it, the deal. I seem to recall that they were saying that they're not going to be porting any games over.
No, they're not going to port. They're going to do something unique.
Well, and yeah, new games, and I want to say that I heard there was going to be new IPs as well. But they weren't going to be reusing like Pokemon and Zelda and Mario and stuff. Now, I could have heard that wrong. I can't remember. It's been a couple of months since I was listening to that news. What I'm more interested in is the whole thing with the NX, which they've already said they're not going to talk about this year at E3. But what they did basically say about the NX was, or they really haven't said anything, but Iwata has basically said, you look at stuff like Android, and now you can play your Android on the TV, you can play your Android on the phone, you can play your Android on the tablet. You know, that game you can take with you anywhere and play it anywhere nowadays. And it's one game on one platform across multiple devices.
Yeah, it's like the Shield.
Exactly. And so he's like, we need to be doing this. Like, why are we not on top of this right now? And
if they could make a version of the Shield that wasn't running Android, they would be golden, because that's my problem. I own an NVIDIA Shield, and I love that thing. It's great. Front-facing speakers were the best thing anyone ever invented for a tablet. But the problem is a lot of the games don't support it.
Yeah.
Like, I actually have Chrono Trigger on there, and it doesn't support the stupid controller. So it's like... And I refuse to touch the screen with my finger. It's been, like, pristine since I got it. I've been using the stylus it came with, and I can't play that game with the stylus. So yeah, it's just like they would every game that came out for it would work with this controller or something. And then I think the other thing they need to do is make the controller travelable, because my Shield's controller is gigantic and it has no case. So it's like I could take the tablet anywhere I want, but not the controller.
Well, and here's what they could do is they could make it so that like maybe there's different controllers to take with you for different devices or something.
Yeah, like, or even put like something behind it where you pop it out and the D-pad's on the left and the buttons are on the right. You don't need a million buttons. You just need a D-pad and 2 buttons in most cases.
Yeah.
And that way, it's still the buttons are protected, because that's my problem is the buttons get smashed and stuff. But
Well, yeah, and they could do something kind of like a current, DS or 3DS or 2DS type of thing where,
yeah, you close it.
yeah, you close it or somehow they protect it or it pops out or, there's lots of different ways you can do that, but make that the mobile device.
Come on, come on.
And then you bring it home and you have like a full-on controller set up hooked up to your TV and everything for when you get home.
Oh man, now I'm gonna spend my whole evening thinking about this. Thanks a lot.
As a user interface person, yeah. I would imagine.
Yes, this is what I did for most of my masters, is designing stuff.
Well, okay, so now here's the kicker though. So the rumors that were coming out this last week, which who knows if they're true or not, because the NX, who knows when they're going to announce it, or talk about it. But one of the rumors that was circulating this last week was that the NX would actually run Android.
I don't know. I have nothing against Android. It's not bad. My biggest beef with it is Google is so narcissistic. They're like, you get it. You're like, oh my gosh, it's 32 gigs. Unfortunately, 12 of those gigs are Google Hangouts, Google Plus, Google Photos, Google this, Google that. It's just like, I don't want all this stuff. I know the iPad does it too, but at least it's useful and it doesn't require you to sign in and download crud every 5 seconds.
Well, so here's the thing, though. I mean, so just because they're using the operating system doesn't mean that they necessarily have to use all the Google stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, I know. That's what NVIDIA said, and it still does it.
Well, yeah, and that's usually how most of them will do it, because there's benefits to doing that. But like Amazon is completely forked to Android, so Amazon has a complete separate fork of Android that they're using for their Amazon Fire OS.
Yeah, I'm hoping Nintendo does it too.
Yeah, and I would imagine that Nintendo would probably do something
It's got to
like
be kid-friendly. I'm not saying Nintendo's a kid company, but they generally market towards family-friendly consoles.
that. Yeah, it's got to be simple. It's got to be simple without being simplistic.
Yeah.
So I think that Nintendo can do it. I'm interested to see it. I think they finally are getting an idea of what's been going wrong for them in the last couple of years because, Android and iOS have been kind of eating their lunch when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So.
Yeah, because Nintendo always cornered the market on portable gaming, and then mobile came and has been annihilating them, and they can't. And then people were always saying, until this year, everyone's like, Xbox and PlayStation so much better, but this is the first year where I've heard people say Wii U is even better.
Yeah, well, and the interesting thing about the mobile stuff is it's like, they worked fine in a vacuum, but the problem is when people are carrying around their phones with them, it's like, okay, do I carry my phone, or do I carry a completely separate thing that only plays games?
Yeah.
It's like, you're not going to win that fight. Like, they're going to carry their phone with them. And at that point, now the phone can play games. Well, now that's good enough. Now you don't have a place in their pocket at all.
Yeah.
And then they kind of ousted themselves a bit from the living room with the end of the Wii generation just because they got their reputation for being so far behind everybody else. And it's like, part of it was earned, part of it wasn't earned, but that's the reputation they got. And now they're kind of in the spot where it's like, okay, they kind of sacrificed the hardcore end of the market, and now the casual end of the market is fickle, has left and gone on to all the mobile stuff. So they're in a tough spot, but I think they can get out of it, and I want them to, because, frankly, I love Nintendo games. So.
Yeah, Nintendo is still my favorite. But the irony about all this is the problem with the mobile market isn't the devices itself, it's the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the persona, I guess, but of the type of people who buy on mobile. They demand all games to be free with no ads and no in-app purchases. And if it costs $3, that's way too much. And they always complain that Square Enix is charging too much because Square Enix refuses to give in. They're like, we made us, we charge you $20 and we released it the last 3 times. I'm going to charge you $20 again. It's the same game. And I actually respect that. And I wait till they go on sale to be like $10. And I forgot who was going to scold. Oh, I'll just page everybody. And it just irritates me. These developers work so hard, and you can release a game on the PlayStation 4 and pay $60 and nobody complains. You go and buy an equally great game on iOS, and they're like, $3, it's outrageous, I want my money back. It's just like, Ugh. So I'm just worried Nintendo's gonna get eaten up in that. They're gonna release great games for like $5, and people are gonna be like, "That's so much!" Ah! And
Yeah.
it irritates me because it's like I want to go on. It's like I go on Apple, the Apple store, and I'm like, I want to see reviews of the games. Well, too bad they're all reviews of the price. I don't care what you think about the price. You obviously paid for it because you're writing a review. So why are you complaining?
Well, what
I
was it?
don't
I heard
know.
that Konami is planning on leaving the
Oh,
console
no.
space entirely.
Well, I don't think I've actually played a Konami game on on the iOS, so
Apparently, they make quite a few.
I can't recall playing any of them.
It's
So
mostly
they
the
probably
Japanese
have.
market is the problem.
Oh, okay. That's, yeah.
But yeah, they're planning on going exclusively mobile starting like next year, I think, or starting this year. Basically, it's Metal Gear Solid is gonna, like Metal Gear Solid 5 is gonna be their last console game. It sounds like,
Yeah.
which I know is not what you want to be hearing, but
Well, I already knew Suikoden was bust. They got themselves in that hole, and they were never going to come out of it.
so here's a question to pose to you. Because with Fallout, I don't know if you're aware of any of the history of Fallout in the franchise, but
I know the game. Helper likes Fallout a lot, but
so the game was originally created by Interplay
yeah.
and their internal development team called Black Isle Studios.
It's the Rising Cup.
And then after Fallout 2 came out, Black Isle Studios was shut down. The guy who was the CEO got ousted by shareholders. Like, just the company kind of fell apart partially. And so then they made, like, Fallout Tactics wasn't actually made by Interplay. It was made by a different company entirely. And then Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, which is not the same as Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel. They made that. It was a horrible, horrible thing. Anyway, I bring all this stuff up because eventually the rights got sold off to Bethesda, who made Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and now Fallout 4. And, there's kind of been this whole back and forth about, is it really a Fallout game if it's made by a completely different company? And, is it really still Fallout? And I kind of want to pose the same question to you, but with regards to Suikoden. If Konami got into a bad situation and decided to sell the rights to Suikoden, could it still be a Suikoden game?
No, because the problem is that's pretty much what happened with. Okay, it's such a horrible game; it left my mind. The Game Boy one, Dear Christ. They just gave it to a completely different team, which in my mind is the same thing as giving it to a different company. And they were like, "Oh, well, we have a castle you customize. Oh, there's 108 people. We're good. Let's go." And it's like, no, that's just like doing Final Fantasy. It's like, oh, well, as long as we have 4 crystals and we have Bahamut, then it's Final Fantasy. And it's just like, no, you can't do that. There's somewhere in there's the heart of the whole thing besides, yes, 108 people in a customizable castle and some kind of war going on generally. But there's some kind of heart in there that usually come with the original creators and writers that you
Getter
lose.
Attack.
With what?
I don't know.
I had no guts. Oh, I'm still gaining guts somehow. Yeah, dang it. Well, at least I didn't get KO'd. Is this
Yeah.
one of those, Okay, I think I'm okay, though. Yeah, I know that was a hard fight. He's getting too old, unfortunately. I think I'm gonna have to retire him soon. But yeah, to answer your question, for the most part, I don't know about Fallout, because I've seen Fallout, and I watched Necroscope play a lot of Fallout, and to me, I didn't see like a lot in that game as far as like depth or anything like that. But again, I'm not a fan of the series, so I can't claim that. But
Well, yeah, and it's very different. I mean, Fallout, a lot of it comes down to kind of the tone of the writing and the sorts of things that are showing up in the story.
yes,
The team that did 1 and 2, like a lot of the Black Isle team that was for 1 and 2, when they got laid off, they went down to another company called Obsidian. Mm-hmm. And Obsidian was actually hired on by Bethesda to make Fallout New Vegas. So Fallout New Vegas was actually created by a lot of the people that did the original Fallout 1 and 2. And in fact, before Fallout 3 came out from Bethesda, that team internally, while they were still at Interplay, was working on an original version of Fallout 3, which at the time was called Van Buren. And so whenever Interplay shut them down, Van Buren got canceled, but they were able to take a lot of those Van Buren ideas and incorporate them into New Vegas later on.
I don't know. I know Suikoden's not coming around anymore, but I feel like I've kind of found a new game. Not saying I'm ever going to leave Suikoden behind or anything. I still play it, but I got Dragon Age now. So that's become... I've really got sucked into Dragon Age. Like, I actually went and bought several books on it. Not the novels, but like the atlases and stuff. And I've been reading those, and I just, again, it comes down to the story and the lore of everything going on and not necessarily the games themselves. And it's exactly what happened with Suikoden.
See, I didn't realize you were that serious about Dragon Age. Like, I knew you liked it.
No, I really got into it. Like, I got all this Dragon Age stuff upstairs now. It's like, obviously not as much as Suikoden, because the collection is gigantic, but
So
I got really into
Dragon Age LP sometime?
No, I'm not going to be LPing it for several reasons. One, it's not for everyone. Far from it. Even if without my commentary. Yes, we won. But that's kind of one of those games that there's an atmosphere going on in the game, and honestly, commentary behind that game ruins the atmosphere. And I'm not the only person who feels that way. I don't actually know of any LPs of Dragon Age on YouTube. There might be, I just haven't found them, but almost everything I find on Dragon Age, especially 1 and 2, have no commentary because people actually say it ruins the game. People will have videos in between talking about stuff they're doing and stuff like that, but never in-game commentary. And I truly believe that because there's so much going on that you decide that there's so many characters you interact with, and it's on another level right above Suikoden, I think, when it comes to that, because some of these characters are really in depth. But I really think that commentary would ruin it, so I'm not going to do it. You know, I even debated about making another channel. Oh, crud muffins.
Oh no.
We're okay. I was actually debating about making another channel for my more mature viewers, where, you know, I would... dang it. You know, curse by accident, like I almost did there, and play games that are rated M and stuff like that, and do stuff like Dragon Age and Artanelico, but I was just like, I don't know. I decided against it, so...
Be like !S for Smappy.
I don't even know what name I would pick, because I've been going by Smappy for so long. So, going back to the game we're playing... Crumblies, I'm not doing well. I don't think we're gonna win this.
No, I don't think we are either. We've basically gotta win everything from here on.
Yeah, normal Baku.
Including this guy, because this guy's got like all KOs at this point, I think. They just have so much life.
It's not even that, it's just that I can't dodge anything. Like, he's got a really low percent rate. I might actually win this, but even then I wouldn't win overall. Crumbs.
So you don't think it's possible at all for any other team of developers to make a Suikoden game? I mean, yeah, they can make one that's called Suikoden, but like to make a real Suikoden game.
No, I want the original writers back at the very least.
I mean, that makes sense.
I would play it, obviously, if they released... If Konami released a game and it said Suikoden on it, Genso Suikoden, I would play it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good.
No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, to be fair, though, even in the Suikoden series, not every game is, like...
Oh, no. I've been joking about 3 being terrible, but we just played that recently, and...
Which we still need to finish.
Yeah, we have, like, what, 10 minutes left?
Yeah.
Yes, KO! But, I don't know. 3 and 4 in my mind had their pros and cons that probably equaled them as the low point of the series. And I'm ignoring Tier Christ, of course, because I actually haven't played it since the day I got it. And I was actually thinking about playing it again recently. Now that I've got my 3DS XL.
Oh yeah, we've already lost this match.
Yeah, dang it. Oh well. Yeah, we didn't get KO'd yet. We'll still get money. Money!
And reputation. For all the good it'll do. And just just so we're clear, for any like true Fallout fans out there, I am by no means a true Fallout fan. I very, 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 very much so enjoyed Fallout 3, but it was my first Fallout experience, which is like sacrilege to a true Fallout fan. So
Yeah, I know Helper started with the original Fallout because that's the one he talks about the most. Ooh, did we dodge? Okay. Whew.
that said, I do own 3 copies of 1, 2, and Tactics.
Why?
Well, because I bought it originally on CD back in the day, and then I didn't get around to playing it, so then I bought it again on Good Old Games when they came out, and then later on they came out on Steam, and so I bought them again, or maybe vice versa for Steam and Good Old Games.
Oh no, crud!
Anyway, I just keep getting... I collect copies of Fallout, apparently. So...
It's like, so I had to go on a business trip to Austin, what was it, last weekend? And, my parents live there, so I was visiting while I was there, and they took me to the mall nearby, and I haven't been in so long, and there was this game store there, and it wasn't a GameStop, but they collected and sold vintage games, and so I went in, and I said, do you have any copies of Suikoden 2? And you know the difference, if somebody, you know when somebody knows what I'm talking about, because their reaction, oh dang it, is, oh yeah! Is usually very different than somebody's like, what are you talking about? And so the first person I asked, and you know, I was like, do you have any copies of Suikoden 2? And he goes, for what system? I'm like, ooh, I got him. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. And I said, PlayStation. So he looks up and he goes, oh, no, we don't. And another sales clerk, she comes up and she goes, you know, what are you looking for? And he said, something called Suikoden 2. She goes, we don't have it and it's $200 underpriced in the computer, so don't sell it if we do. And I'm like, no! And my mom's sitting there, she goes, how much is a PlayStation game? And so then, of course, they were telling me that I can go and buy it on the PlayStation Network, and I said, oh, I know that. I just want another copy for my collection. I already have 4 of them. And she goes, we don't sell to your kind here. Get out. And when she said that, I thought it was so funny. I was like, yeah. Oh, we lost 7 fame.
What?
I'm sorry, Puddin'. I'm sorry, Puddin'.
Well, we're about, like, what, 25, 30 minutes in?
Yeah, I'm going to stop here.
Now that we've ranted and gotten onto our soapboxes.
Yeah, because we never talk about the game. Well, you know, it's only in Monster Rancher that we seem to really go off key, or like on Suikoden when we're running around the map endlessly looking for squirrels.
To be fair, when we're in Operation Neptune, we can't really focus on anything else except for what's right in front of us.
Although, I do pay attention to other games like Princess Maker. Paid attention to that one the whole time. And EcoQuest, which I might actually do the second one at some point. I don't know. Anyways, I guess I will see you guys in the next video, so bye for now.
Bye, guys.